Hello, my darlings, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Mariya. Please subscribe below so we can be YouTube friends. Today, we're talking about coffee, specifically coffee from the spiritual perspective. I will share what my guides have said, spirit guides that is, about coffee, how much and if I am drinking coffee, and what I would recommend if you're on the spiritual path. Coffee is a fascinating topic. I myself have gone through ups and downs in my relationship with coffee. I started off not drinking any up until I was in my mid-20s, then drinking up to 4 cups a day as I was working on my startup company. It's been a ride. Since my awakening, I have been optimizing a lot of what I eat, what I consume, what I drink. And a lot of it has been prompted by my spirit guides. So my spirit guides do dictate my diet, if you will, and they do comment on certain products that I eat. And coffee has been one that they specifically called out as an interesting product to beware of or be aware of its impact. There have been others. My guides have spoken up about alcohol as well. If you guys want me to make a video about alcohol and how that impacts your spirituality, your energy body, your auric field, please drop me a comment below and I'll make sure to record one for you. Coffee is interesting because it is certainly an addictive substance, but it is also almost like a normalized drug in our society. It is addictive. Everybody knows it. Everybody who's a coffee drinker knows it. Somehow your consumption just seems to be going up over the years. You need more and more as time goes by. And yet it's completely legal. You know, there's a Starbucks in the US, feels like every other block. It's been interesting. We certainly don't perceive that as anything potentially problematic. There are even studies, many studies now, we know probably who was paying for those studies, around how coffee is good for you, how it's good for your digestive system, et cetera, how it keeps you looking younger and whatnot. Now, there are same studies about red wine, so there we go. Here's what my guides said about coffee. My guides were not thrilled that I was drinking coffee. In fact, they had me really limit my coffee intake. At the time, I was drinking about 3 pretty big cups a day. So again, I was, call it addicted. And they have limited it for me to 1 cup a day. That's all I can officially have. Here's the reason. So what ends up happening with coffee is one of those products that darkens your auric field. It darkens your light bodies. What does it mean? So essentially, when coffee gets into your physical body, it impacts more than your physical. It impacts your energy. Obviously, we know that. That's why a lot of us have coffees, because we want to pick me up. We want an energy spike. But when coffee is giving us an energy spike, it also darkens our aura as it does. As it works with our body. So it's almost like when coffee gets into your aura, it creates these little anchors or these little dots of itself. It's almost like it gives an energetic imprint into your body. And though that energetic imprint is kind of what causes an addiction, because it's gonna start making you want to reach out for the next cup, and the next cup. But not only that, over time it really darkens your aura in the same way that physically on the physical level it yellows your teeth. Energetically, it darkens your aura. What is the problem with the darkened aura? A lot of things. When we are in the spiritual path, and in general, if you think about the evolution of souls. And I'm going to go very lofty and then we're going to come down for a quick second. When our souls evolve, like at soul level, when you evolve, over time what ends up happening to your soul is you accumulate more and more light in your body. So you grow and expand by accumulating more light and kind of releasing darkness, if that makes sense. Over here, a lot of things in your life are dependent on how much light you can hold within your body, especially if you're on spiritual path. For people that are able to hold on a lot of light in their auric fields, their spiritual gifts open up. Their abundance channels open up, their talents open up, essentially their higher selves come through, and then the body is considered clean. So your higher self is willing to inhabit more of your physical body, and therefore you will always have connected. You become a channel. So in other words, when you are in a spiritual path, when you are in a path of awakening, how much light you can hold in your etheric body, in your light bodies, if you will, is directly directly proportional to your gifts, your levels of happiness, and how much on your path you are. And so for me specifically, guides were very stringent with the coffee intake. Now, in the ideal world, they would have me drink absolutely no coffee. So if you can give up coffee, that is probably going to be your fastest path to, growing light within your auric bodies. Now, of course, you need meditation, you need all of the other things, right? There are other things that you consume that darken your auric field. Meats, for instance, or anything that is a byproduct of murder is going to cause and create darkness and even holes in your auric field. So we're not saying that just by removing coffee you're golden, but coffee is certainly one of those culprits. Here, the middle ground that, where I am, and I'm being extremely upfront and honest with you, that 1 cup of coffee. Why 1 cup? And how did my guides come up with that? So essentially, your body is really, really good with releasing and removing toxins. And coffee, they certainly perceive to be a toxin. And there's only so much that your body can do per 24 hours. So within a 24-hour period, your body can get rid of, your light body, your etheric body, right, can get rid of about 1 cup of coffee. If you drink more than that, coffee starts accumulating in your system. It's not able to come out. And that is when you're going to start having an additive effect. So 1 cup is enough, or rather is the most that, an average body, quote unquote, can process. I've also actually switched to mushroom coffee. Now, you have to be really careful with mushroom coffees because it may seem that a mushroom coffee doesn't have caffeine inside, but it actually does. It's just a much smaller content, right? So anytime you can minimize how much caffeine you're drinking, it's actually going to be better. The question that's coming up from the collective is, so can you drink decaf? Decaf is certainly better than regular, but it's still going to darken your auric field. And part of it is the process of how they prepare coffee. Another one is the egregore itself. An egregore, for those of you that don't know, is an energetic structure of something. And coffee certainly has a huge egregore. So every person drinking coffee or thinking about coffee or craving coffee or, exchanging their energy with coffee is contributing to that egregore or the collective energy structure of the product. So the coffee egregore is very greedy. It's a greedy egregore. It is an egregore that, yes, it does manipulate. It's able to manipulate the energy in your body in a way that it enables you to borrow from your future energy reservoirs. And then it also takes a commission off of what it enabled you to borrow. So kind of like a trader. And it usually takes about a 30% commission. So if you're borrowing, 100 items of energy, I'm using items very like 100 points of energy or whatever, and then coffee is going to take 30% roughly for itself. So it is an egregore that is quite hungry. And it is not a pro-humanity egregore, meaning it is an energy structure that is somewhat parasitic in nature. And because of that, it actually feeds off of your life force, right? Because energy is life force, right? So when we borrow our own energy, we essentially borrow our future life force. And that is what the egregore of coffee feeds off of. There are other egregores that feed off of your life force. But coffee is certainly a hungry one, and it does create this addictive type of behavior so that it can keep you in the loop. So overall, if you are on the spiritual path, limiting your coffee intake is the best thing you can do for your light bodies, for your aura. Yeah, because, and also think about it, right? Like a darkened auric field attracts more darkness into itself. The lighter auric field attracts more lightness, right? Attracts like the good old principle, the law of attraction. And so you want to really optimize what you consume, right? What are the things that you consume so that you can really optimize. Call it the light coefficient of your body. And again, in moderation, coffee is okay. If you can completely give it up, you will move on up the spiritual ladder even quicker. I know sometimes it is hard, right? And even I am on a journey. Now, if my guides were to show up and tell me, Mariya, you have to stop, I'll stop tomorrow. They haven't said that. They have said that about alcohol. And I have given that up in 2018, never went back. So yeah, it's an interesting energetic entity, coffee. It does create on a physical level a fight and flight response in your body. And it really starts pumping your adrenals, which is not necessarily good. So you may be sitting down, but your heart would be pumping blood as if you were running. So in general, even from the physical perspective, I think the benefits of coffee are dubious, but especially from the perspective of energy. If you're going to try to give up coffee, there is an adjustment period, like with everything. And with coffee, it's between 20 and 40 days on average, right? So your energy may be really out of whack for the first, up to 40 days when you give up coffee. But then you will notice that your natural vitality comes back and your life force actually gets adjusted back to its normal state. And you're not going to feel like you need a coffee pick-me-up every morning just in order to get going. Or you're going to notice that you are productive even without this drink. But there is an adjustment period. All right, my darlings, let me know in the comments what your journey with coffee has been, and let me know if this has been helpful at all. And please let me know if there are any other products that you want me to make a video on. Specifically, I'm happy to do that. All right, loves, send you a big virtual hug. Bye.